Welcome back to another episode of Little Pop Stars Podcast. Turn on the light, because we got Sami Siteman on the podcast tonight.
I guess we're back with another episode. Tanner, Sydney, welcome to our show.
My name is Sami Siteman. I am a singer-songwriter. I like to say that my genre kind of is in between, in the intersection of pop, country, and singer-songwriter. But I definitely have some like rock elements in some of my songs, some folk elements, some jazz, like kind of all over the board. I've been influenced by a lot of different types of music, and so yeah, I've never really felt like I fit in just one genre, either in music or in life in general. So I'm like, why not? Why not just have a little bit of everything?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what I like to do with my music. I mentioned I live in Santa Barbara, California. I originally grew up in a suburb of LA, but I now live in Santa Barbara with my husband, and I come into LA for music stuff when I can.
Nice.
But yeah, I've been releasing music for the last 8 years, and I just put out my 29th track, I think it is, which is I actually can't I couldn't really believe that when I started counting them. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
really
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, and honestly, I think I always like to say like I truly I write my music because I feel like I need to say something. I need to like express
Yeah.
myself, but I share it because like my favorite artists have done that for me, and like their music has like gotten me through so many like really hard times in my life,
Yeah.
or good times, or just all the, every different emotion. Like I feel like their music has been there for me. And so yeah, I don't know, that's why I really like to share my music. I think I have more than 29 songs written, but
Yes.
you know, sharing them, it's a process. But anyway, all to say,
Yeah.
I just love being able to share my music and like hopefully connect with people in, again, the same way that like my favorite artists have done for me. So
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
Um, so now we have a little segment called Little Pop Quiz where
Okay.
it's just kind of some quick questions to get to know you a bit, and it's just kind of fast answers, and then we'll get a little bit deeper into your
A
music.
little pop quiz. A little pop quiz.
So, what is your favorite snack?
Probably pretzels, the sourdough pretzels from Costco in like the giant tub. I
Nice. What is the first concert you went to?
think it was the Jonas Brothers when I was like 10.
Nice. What is something you wish you were better at?
Playing guitar. I'm terrible at playing guitar, but I really want to get better.
Do you play any other instruments?
I play piano and
Nice.
ukulele, not super well, but okay.
What is the first music artist that comes to mind?
Sarah Bareilles. She is
Okay.
my idol, but also Sabrina Carpenter because she's on the wall behind me, and I adore her.
What is the last album that you listened to?
I think Cherry Valley by Carter Faith.
Okay.
So good.
And what is your favorite song at the moment?
Oh my gosh. That's really sorry, I know this is supposed to be a fast quiz. That's hard to
That's all
say.
right.
Can I look at what I've played the most recently?
Yes.
Okay, hang
Th-
on.
that was the last fast question, so
Okay. Let's
it's
see
all
what I've
right.
played the most recently played. Favorite song right now, More by Jillian Dawn.
Okay.
Go with
Nice.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so now we can no pressure on the amount of time for these next questions. I looked at your Spotify and you had like a top 200 playlist. Is that of like some of your favorite songs?
Yes. So that playlist I made, I had a couple people, like friends and just like family in my personal life, asking me like to give them music recommendations because I tend to find a lot of like more kind of like smaller emerging like niche artists
Mm-hmm.
who I just think are immensely talented and I really love to listen to. Um And I love, you know, a lot of the bigger stars as well. But
Yeah.
they, I don't know, people kept asking me like, give me music recommendations, all this stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna like make my like top. I started with like my top 100 songs of all time,
Hmm.
and I couldn't do that. And then I tried my
Yeah.
top 150, and I couldn't do that either. And then I just moved it to my top 200. And so that's kind of how it like started. It really is just like my personal like music taste and like the songs that I think like they're not necessarily like some of them are really popular, some of them aren't, but like they're not
Hmm.
necessarily like what garnered the most like public reaction or anything like that. It's just like truly they're all songs that I think are like immensely impactful and just like the lyrics are brilliant, the melodies are brilliant. Like something it just makes you feel something really special that I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes even just a great like catchy song doesn't always do. So they're like
Right.
that's what the songs are. They're not even just like things I think are like super fun to listen to. It's like they're all like super special to me. So yeah, that's what those are.
Yeah, nice. I like clicked on it and I think Who's Afraid of Little Old Me was like is one of the first ones and that's
Yes.
also like one of my favorite songs and then I
Really? Oh my gosh.
scrolled and there's like a ton that are some of my favorites as well. So it's like it looks like we have some similar music tastes.
I love that. Yeah, I think that song is so underrated.
Definitely.
I love Taylor Swift, but like some of her songs that I think have gotten like really, really popular, I'm like,
Yeah,
it's like it's good, it's fine. But some of the ones like Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, that song is a masterpiece. Like,
it is.
oh, so good.
So good. Yes.
I'm glad we have similar music tastes. That's awesome.
Yes. W- Would you say those songs on that playlist are kind of mostly like that you enjoy, or have they also inspired your own music?
Mhm. That's a good question. I would say probably a combination of both. I think solid combination of both. Probably, yeah, I think both. I think both. There's a lot of artists on there who are like some of my biggest music inspirations. Sarah
Hmm.
Bareilles, Carly Pierce, Maren Morris, Kelsey Ballerini. Um, yeah, I think there's a lot of them on there who I think they are I love listening to them, but also because they inspire me because I love their music. Like I really, really
Right.
love how they write, what they write, the feelings and emotions they like evoke in the listener.
Hmm.
So yeah, I definitely try to like emulate that.
Yeah, nice. And I saw that your songs are like on the platform Coda, which I hadn't
Yeah.
heard about. I didn't know if you wanted to share a little bit about that and like how you found it and how it's like a little different from other platforms.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for asking. So, yes, Coda is a really, really awesome kind of newer streaming service. Um, I really just found them on Instagram. I was like scrolling through and I had seen someone post something about basically the fact that they pay their artists significantly better than a lot
Hmm.
of the other streaming services. Their model is essentially the listener can choose somebody to be their home artist. And so their home artist gets $1, like a whole dollar of their monthly subscription of 12 or $13, or
Oh,
maybe
wow.
$11, $12, whatever. Yeah, so the home artist for that month gets a dollar of that user's subscription. So if you as an artist get like 15 people even to join Coda and have you be their home artist, you get $15 in that month. And every month that you're with them, you get a dollar for however many people are your like have you as their home artist.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
it's a really, really cool platform. Like one of I think the only one like the only streaming platforms that actually pays artists like any significant amount of
Yeah,
money. I don't know if you're aware, but like a lot of the other streaming platforms, it's like literally like 0.003 cents per stream. And
that's
so
crazy.
it's so nuts. Yeah. And so on Coda, you not only get paid per stream better than a lot of the other platforms, but you also get that dollar if people make you their home artist. So it's a
Nice.
really cool model that like really just values artists, I think, more
Hmm.
inherently than a lot of other platforms. So yeah, I recently got my music on there. Um I actually had a conversation with the founder, really awesome guy, Russell, and he was telling us he was talking to me and Forbes, my manager, and he was
Hmm.
telling us that they're starting to really get a lot more like mainstream people on there, and they're, it's getting to be close to comparable to things, that like Spotify has artist wise,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think for a lot of people who are like looking for a really great alternative to any other streaming services, if they're if they're looking for
Hmm.
a new streaming service these days, I know a lot of people have been lately. So I think it's an awesome one. You support independent artists, you support the artists you care about, and yeah, I think it's super cool. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice. That is cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely kind of look into that and try to maybe share, like when you put your music on there, is there anything you have to do to like pay or anything like that, or is it?
No, as an artist, it's free to to distribute your music. Yeah, which is really, really cool. So as long as your distributor works with them, I think that's all that is required. But no, it's you don't have to like pay any extra money as an artist to have your stuff on there. And they have like a 14-day trial for listeners to see if they like the platform enough to
Mhm.
stick around with it. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that more.
yeah, it's awesome.
So I know you mentioned a few artists that you're kind of inspired by. Are there any like specifically right now as you're working on music that you've been inspired by lately?
Mm, I can tell you actually. Exactly. So for every song I create with my producer, I work with Dylan Emmett. He is an awesome artist, like in his own right, but he's also a great producer. And I'm working with him currently on all my music. So every time we do a song together, I like write the song. I write like the lyrics, the melody, all of that, the chords, and then I'll go to him and I'll make a like, production inspiration playlist. And so
Nice.
it's not necessarily that these songs have inspired like the songwriting itself in that moment,
Hmm.
but in terms of production, very much so.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, for my song that recently came out, Chasing the Rainbow, I have Silver Lining by Casey Musgraves,
Nice.
Orange Show Speedway by Lizzie McAlpine, Hindsight is Happiness by Kelsey Ballerini, Little Black Dress, Sarah Bareilles, Favorite Crime, Olivia Rodrigo, and Pancakes for Dinner by Lizzie McAlpine.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, that's like definitely that's like the vibe of that song. I will say for my song Why Do You Care, that is coming out March 6th, which I think will be out by the
Yes,
time
yeah.
this
By
airs.
the time this is out, it'll be
Yes,
out.
yes. So that song, the inspiration is like Lose Control by Teddy Swims, Back to Black by Amy Winehouse, Take Me to Church, Hosier, March March by the Chicks, Labor by Paris Paloma. So I don't know, I would say like I often am inspired by like different people in the moment when I'm, listening and writing and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of production,
Hmm.
um, the songs, like some of those songs are really new and some of them are really old. So it's like kind of
Right.
all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I like the variety of songs that, and I guess some may not be like the same genre, but kind of
Yeah,
end up mixing in there, which is kind of cool.
exactly. Yeah.
Is there a lyric from one of your songs that you've been really resonating with lately?
Mm. Yeah, I think it's funny. I wrote Chasing the Rainbow in 2020. Like I wrote that song literally 6 years ago.
Wow.
But I lately have been realizing that it's like more applicable now to me than I think it even was when I wrote it. At
Hmm.
least in the metaphorical sense, of really just like I'm always chasing the rainbow. I don't want to sit through the rain.
I'm always chasing the rainbow. Don't wanna sit through the rain, even though I know it'll clear up someday. I know I can't get the rainbow.
Like that's the lyric. It's like kind of
Yeah.
simple, but it's really the truth for me. Like it is literally I hate the rain. I really never want to sit through it. I really
Yeah.
don't like the rain. It's annoying. And I think that's like what I wrote it about at that point in time, maybe a little bit metaphorically, but I feel like the metaphorical meaning has like deepened for me over the 6 years since I actually wrote it and now that I've released it. Because I feel like something I've really acknowledged lately is I really struggle to like sit through the like discomfort. And so like that song actually has like really been a reminder to me lately, to really just remember that like getting through the hard stuff not only like helps with resilience and like strength and all of those things, but like really, really does make the like great moments afterwards like so much better. It really
Yeah,
does, you know? It's like no, I don't ever want to have to go through like difficult things. Nobody does, but like we all
right.
do. And so it just makes me so much more grateful for like the good things I have when they happen after like I've
Yeah,
gone through something challenging, you know? So yeah, it's a good question. I really think that it's just funny how that works out, you know? Like I wrote this song
yeah.
6 years ago and I'm now releasing it and I feel like it's more applicable to me than ever before. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's just kind of funny timing.
that is interesting. I do feel like when I'm like listening to some songs and then sometimes it may not click with me when it comes out, and then years later it'll kind of be like, oh, I I feel it
Totally.
now.
100%.
Yeah. And I know, like, is it around 2015 some of like the songs on your album were sort of first written?
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing that you've been working on it for that long. How have you kind of like grown along with these songs?
Yeah. So yeah, first to answer like the first part of your question about like the how long I've been working on them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the songs, in fact, I would say any song that I wrote prior to like maybe last year or the year before, I wasn't necessarily ever intending for them to like be part of my debut album or an album at all. I was just kind of like
Yeah,
writing them. In
right.
fact, the very first song I wrote for this, which is now going to be on the album, is called Breathe. And I wrote that song in like December 2015. And I actually was gonna put that on my very first EP that I released and like self-produced and all this
Uh-huh.
stuff. Um, but for some reason it just like didn't feel like it fit the vibe of the rest of the EP. And
Yeah,
so after some conversations with like some family and friends, I kind of decided to just like nix it and just let my first EP be 4 songs and, you know, just left it alone and kind of never really did anything with it. And then when I came up with the concept for my album, which is called Welcome to My Brain, and the whole concept is like mental health, my own like experiences with mental health, other people's that I've like witnessed, just like the way I think about things and life in general. Um, and so when I realized that like that was the concept of the album I wanted to put out, I was like, oh, this song actually was meant for this album. So it's just really funny how
yeah,
like when I wrote it, it wasn't like intentionally like that, but it's just I went back through my collection of songs that I've written and realized like there's some songs that have stuck with me that I wrote over the years. That yeah, I think they just really fit into this category or this concept for the album. And I think that's actually like part of the beauty of this album is like it really is my journey of mental health. Like
mm-hmm.
I feel like in like 2015, 2014, 2015 was like when I started personally experiencing a lot more mental health struggles. And so really kind of like almost like unintentionally like documenting my own journey. The album's not necessarily chronological, but just like
Yeah,
having my own journey of mental health, like from where I started to like where I'm at now. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of a cool like thing for me to
yeah,
be able to look back on and be like, wow, this is like how I've grown and changed and all these things. So I guess that kind of answers your second part of the question of like, how I've changed since then. I feel like I've gone through, there were so many things that like at that point in time I had gone through that I was like, this is so challenging. Like this is the worst thing in the world. And then
mm-hmm.
now 11 years later, I can be like, no, certainly that was not the hardest thing in the world that I've gone through now. But it was really, really hard at the time. And like, I'm really grateful I had songwriting to be able to like use as a method of expression for like
Mm-hmm.
just like putting those feelings out there of like feeling really confused and feeling really scared or fearful of like, why am I feeling this way? What's going on? I feel like I have a lot more answers now, um, more perspective. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like fun to kind of like review the whole journey as
Yeah.
I've like gotten to where I am now, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. It's been over the course of so many years because I think a lot of times people make albums, not that there's anything wrong with it being a just a moment of their
For
life,
sure.
but for it to be such a large period of your life, I think that's really cool.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's definitely something I'm really proud of. I feel like it's been like 11 years coming, so it's like,
Hmm.
and I didn't even know. That's the funniest thing to me is like I if you had asked me even 2 years ago if like what I would be doing with all these songs, I would have been like, I have no idea. I've had so many different ideas of like how I wanted to like share the collection of some of these songs, and it took a long time to like get to this concept and be like, this is the one, this is how I'm doing it. So I'm excited. It's funny, I have songs from there from 2015 all the way through literally this December, so like
Wow.
literally a 10-year span. um and yeah, I think like the one through line that I'm like really proud of is just like the authenticity of it, I think, and like the vulnerability.
Hmm.
Like I said, I really don't write my songs like for other people necessarily. I really write them
Yeah.
because I feel like it's something I just need to like express. And I found that writing songs is like one of the best ways for me to process my emotions, like process my grief,
Hmm.
and like sometimes it's the only modality that just like allows me to like really like mentally and physically like process it in a way that, yeah, I don't know, nothing else really provides me that for. So I'm very grateful to have that outlet.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. And with those songs that you wrote kind of like way back early on in the stages of making this, how have those songs like changed at all now, like lyrically or production
Yeah,
wise?
that's a really good question. So we haven't gotten to the production of Breathe yet. So TBD on that one.
Yeah.
Um, but some of the other songs, I'm just pulling up my album list here so I can
Yeah.
tell you. Um, I would say the one that actually has changed a little bit is Why Do You Care?
Why do you care what anyone else does? Your beliefs aren't everyone. So what makes you think we'll repeat history? We all deserve equality. We won't give up the fight. We won't give up
So,
the
Why Do You Care?
fight.
I had started in 2020, also similar to Chasing the Rainbow, but at a different point in 2020. I think I really, really was feeling frustrated with the state of the country at that moment in
Hmm.
time. There was a lot going on, there still is. Um,
Yeah.
so that song really was like just my expression of like the first line of the song is, why do you care what anyone else does? Your beliefs aren't everyone's. And I really
Hmm.
just wanted to like, I don't know, I was feeling just so frustrated that there's so many people who try to like prescriptively say like, oh, well, like you must do this thing because my religion says so, or because like my whatever says so. And I'm like,
Hmm.
that's not how this works. I get to
Yeah.
choose what I do with my life, and other people should be able to do the same. Like, so all to say, that is kind of how that whole song like came about originally. The thing that changed since then is I added a third. So basically, every chorus in that song kind of covers a different topic that I'm really passionate about. The first
Hmm.
one is like LGBTQ plus rights and advocacy in general. The second
Hmm.
one is like bodily autonomy and like reproductive rights. And the third is like immigrant rights and
Hmm.
just like standing up for people who I think make this country actually great. Um,
Yeah.
and sorry if that's like too political to be a
No,
segment right now,
no,
but
no.
I just yeah, I just feel really strongly that like people like everybody deserves like respect and rights. And it's crazy to me that people don't believe that. So all to say, the thing that I really changed actually is the third um chorus. I don't even know if I had like shifted it. I think maybe I went back to the first chorus. And maybe only I changed the second one, but I had the same first as the third. And I was like, no, I need to like put something in here about immigration right now, which is like, so specifically topical and specifically the reason I pushed up this release. I actually wasn't going to have it be a single. But with
Oh,
everything that's
okay.
been happening in the last couple months, I was like, I feel like this is
Yeah.
just important to say. Like, I don't necessarily, I definitely don't shy away from sharing how I feel,
Yeah.
on my social media or like in my personal life. But I've never really had a song about like
Hmm.
any advocacy. And so, I don't know, it just felt like the right moment to add my voice into that conversation in that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Just try to like
I'm
show up for people.
yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing that one because I feel like there really aren't a ton of songs out there that are about, things outside of relationships and stuff. So I think that is definitely an important song, especially for right now.
Thank you.
And I know that you said like a lot of these songs on this album are about your mental health, and
Hmm.
I mean that's also, things related to like politics and things going on in the world definitely connects with our mental health. How does that song kind of connect with the album as a whole?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I would say in addition to the topic, or like relatedly to the topic of like mental health and my own mental health struggles, this album also really explores just like how I think and like why I think and like believe the things I do. And
Hmm.
so I think that that's kind of where it fits in here. I like to say it's funny that you mentioned like a lot of songs being relationship focused because I feel like my entire catalog up to the last couple singles I've released really is very like relationship focused, like heartbreak, love, like all those things. And like
Yeah,
that was what I needed to express and release like at those moments in time.
right.
I'm like happy with that. But I also realized I feel like I've introduced my audience to my heart. I don't feel like I've really introduced my audience to my head. And so that's kind of what this
Mm,
album is about. Is like literally it's a little on the nose because that's just my sense of humor, but it's literally welcome to my brain. Like that's I'm just truly trying to like open my brain up sort of to like my
yeah,
audience to say like you've seen like my heart, now here is how I think and like why I believe what I believe. So yeah, that's kind of like where it fits in there.
yeah, that's cool. Um, and would you say that these songs that are on this album, outside of like thematically being a little different, is there any other ways they differ from some of your past songs?
Yeah, I actually something that I'm doing with this album that I didn't even think I was going to be able to do before I started releasing the songs is release songs in different genres, which sounds like nuts, but I have
Yeah.
always wanted, I mean, like I said at the beginning, like I really have never felt bound by a single genre.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, technically, if like pop is the most broad and vague, yeah, you could
Right.
classify me in pop. But that's where most of my music has been in the past. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that something I'm like really trying to lean into with the singles at least that I'm releasing ahead of the album is really leaning into like the instrumentation and like putting that as the genre because I'm a singer-songwriter, but the production and the instrumentation kind of like guides the genre a little bit more
Yeah.
than even the song itself. And so, yeah, the first single I released, Lost and Found for the album was pop. Chasing the Rainbow, released as country. Why Do You Care, releasing as rock. I think I'm gonna release a I think I'm gonna release a single in folk and then I think I'm gonna do another one that's like pop. Maybe I'll do it as alternative. We'll see. But all to say, it's just like the whole thing is just kind of a like construct, and I'm just
Yeah.
like I feel like all my songs fit in all of these genres, and I'm kind of just going with whatever the like vibe of the instrumental is a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I'm pushing it to the genre. So all to say, that's like a really big difference, I think, from all my previous
Yeah.
stuff, is like everything I've released prior to this has been just pop. Um, even though I don't necessarily think that's a fully accurate description. But yeah, it's something I've like always wanted to do is release music under like different genres, as many as I can. And I'm like really excited about being able to do that right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It'll be kind of like a variety of different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Is so like when you first start writing a song, do you ever like have an idea of what genre you want it to be?
That's a good question. Honestly, I don't usually start writing that way. I feel like that would be a very good exercise though. I think that would make me a better songwriter if I tried that. I honestly do because I feel like it really to like go in intentionally trying to write like a specific type of song, I feel like is a really specific skill and I definitely would like to get better at that. So that I'm gonna take that if you don't mind and try that.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
Usually what I do honestly is I kind of do one of two things these days. Either I'm like really just like feeling something I need to express and I'll start, writing a lyric down in my notes app or I'll record a voice memo. Both one or both of those things is kind of
Hmm.
usually how I start, especially if I'm like out and don't have my keyboard. Um, the other is I've been doing a lot of collab sessions lately, which has been really cool, co-writing with other people. And that really forces you to be creative like on the spot and not just when you're like feeling inspired, but it's like you have a session set up at like this scheduled time. It's like you have to like be on and like do your thing at that moment in time. And so I
Hmm.
think that's been a very, very good like muscle for me to work. Has been like not just writing when I'm feeling super inspired, but like making myself write just when the session is and like creating something cool and good from that too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, another one of the singles that I'm going to be releasing, the one I wrote most recently in December 2025, um, that is a co-write. And um, yeah, I love the song. I'm really excited about it. So things just kind of come about in different ways. Each song kind of they all kind of came about in different ways. I have some songs that like took me years to finish. Like wrote
Hmm.
like a chorus and a verse and like never got back to it until 3 years later. I have some songs that I like sat down and wrote in an hour because it just was like pouring out of me. So
Yeah.
it really varies.
Yeah. That's interesting. The album is coming out later this year. Do you have all the songs written now, or are you still working on some?
Yes. So I do have all the songs written. Currently, I'm like looking at my track list right now on my phone. Currently
Nice.
it's a 12 song album. Um,
Uh-huh.
six of which are coming out as singles ahead of time.
Okay.
But yes, they're all written. I think we are done with production on, I guess, only two of them. We're in the process of production on three more. Yeah, so it's coming along. But yeah, they're all written. The one thing that I think I have to finish one song for my potentially deluxe track list. I'm trying
Okay.
to release a deluxe album afterwards. So
Nice.
yeah, so there might be a couple bonus tracks on there, and maybe there will be a not yet written one. We'll see.
Nice. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Um, and have you gotten the chance to like play any of these songs live?
I have actually. I was really, really fortunate in between like 2024 and part of 2025. I got to perform live quite a bit. Um, the first time I ever performed my music like live for more than just like some friends in a backyard was in 2018. I performed at a venue called the Canyon Club in my hometown actually. And it was really cool. I was opening for the Dan Band. They're like a comedy music group.
Nice.
And it was a lot of fun. That was like my first EP. I played a couple of those songs and songs that I was like covering. And then I just got really busy with life. Like
Hmm.
between life, my like day job, COVID, just a variety of things, I ended up just getting really busy and I didn't perform live again until I think it was September of 2025. Sorry, no, 2024. September 2024. So I went 6 years without like doing a real performance.
Hmm.
It's like kind of sad because I actually really love performing live. But I get nervous because I feel like I'm not always as confident in my piano playing skills, accompanying myself like fully live.
Hmm.
I love singing. I would like go out there if I had a band with me, which like I'm actually trying to make something happen in that realm. I feel like I'd feel a lot more comfortable to do it more often. But
Yeah,
like memorizing all the chords and like everything I need to do, like I'm just not as good of an instrumentalist. I really, really admire like musicians and people who do that for a living. So
yeah,
all to say, it like took me a while to decide to like I was gonna practice for like a month and a half and make sure I like got good at my piano playing enough to like perform. All to say, I did a showcase with BMI. They do like an acoustic showcase in LA in September 2024, and there I actually performed Chasing the Rainbow. So like a year and a half ago, I think was the first time I performed Chasing the Rainbow live. So that was really fun. I don't think I've performed a couple of the other ones. There's a few of them that like I've posted clips of on like TikTok or Instagram or something, but I haven't
hmm
performed them live yet. I think just Lost and Found and Chasing the Rainbow. So all the other ones are like gonna be pretty new for people. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to share them.
And are you like working on hopefully performing the whole album live?
I would love to. We're actually trying to get a mini tour set up, which would be like such a dream. The idea of like actually doing like a even a small like headline tour
Hmm
is so cool. I feel like
Yeah,
the reason that I do my music really, like I said, the reason I share it is like to connect with people and help people through things and to be able to like
right.
do that live and like actually connect with
hmm
the people like in person who are hearing my music would be like so incredible. So trying to set something up to do a San Diego tour or sorry, a San Diego show, LA, Santa Barbara, and then one in New York. So I took the newer ones.
If there are any at the end you would actually put a little higher, we can add those to the ranking.
Okay.
Um, okay, so I could have married you or but we'll be okay.
Mm. Is this also supposed to be a speed round or should I give context?
No, it's however you want to do it is fine.
Okay. Um, I think when I wrote it, but we'll be okay, meant a lot more to me, I think. What? That's not true. It didn't mean a lot more to me. I take that back. I take it back. It came from a place of like so much more heartbreak. That's what I should say. It
Uh-huh.
like it came from a much more intense emotion.
Hmm.
But I Could Have Married You, I think, has like I've grown to love so much. I think especially
Okay.
because it's like it was about that same relationship I was so heartbroken about, and then it's like
Hmm.
I could have married you, but I'm glad I didn't because I found someone way better. So
Yes.
let's go with I Could Have Married You.
Nice. Okay, I could have married you or glass slipper.
Glass Slipper. Glass Slipper, I
Okay.
wrote about my now husband, and that song is really special to me.
Yes, that makes sense. Glass slipper or I'm moving on, but I still miss you.
Ooh. I love I'm Moving On, but I Still Miss You only because I feel like the chorus is like very different than a lot of my other songs. So let's go with that.
Okay. I'm moving on, but I still miss you or chasing the rainbow.
Chasing the Rainbow. Because I don't know, I think like I said earlier, right now it's like really particularly vibing with me again. And so yeah, I'll go with that.
Nice. Chasing the rainbow or lost and found.
Lost and Found. I wrote that song about my processing my grief when my grandma passed away, and I feel like that is probably one of the songs I'm the most proud of writing ever, just like
Hmm.
because I had so much pain that I was like trying to like express and like put into a song, and it really, really helped me like process a lot of my grief. So I think Lost and Found.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Lost and found or one step closer.
Lost and Found. I love One Step Closer, but Lost and Found.
And then lost and found or why do you care?
That's so hard. I think I'm gonna stick with Lost and Found just because that song meant so much to me personally. But I think Why Do
Hmm.
You Care? I'm really excited for it to like be out in the world.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's all the song titles I have from the new album.
Yes, yes.
So why do you care? Or no, you said Lost and Found. That is the current
Current winner.
number one.
It's gonna be hard to beat, I think.
Nice. And that one, is that one on the album as well?
It is. It is the first single I released from the album.
Nice.
Although when I released it, I didn't necessarily make any mentions of the album yet. But it is gonna be on there, yes.
Nice. That you've got a lot of it's it's very interesting how much just like themes and different situations that are all on this album. It definitely is kind of all encompassing of many years of your life. Now that we've
Yeah,
talked about it, I can see how it really is kind of capturing it all, which is really cool.
totally. Thank you.
Yeah. And are there any collaborators that you haven't mentioned that you wanted to mention?
Yes. So one of the singles I'm going to be releasing, I think in May, April or May. I can't remember when we're releasing it, but April or May. The song is called Mount Everest, and my collaborator on that is Michelle Hall. She's an amazing songwriter, and she's the one I wrote with in December. And so I'm really excited about that. Just another shout out again to Dylan, who's my amazing producer on this entire album.
Yes.
He has this ability to like translate my visions for my songs into reality and like execute it so well, and I'm so grateful to get to work with him. He's
Hmm.
amazing. And then there's actually one other collaboration that will be on the album that I have not mentioned yet. It's going to be the single for Over the Summer, and it's called Slow Motion. I wrote that song with Alexa Cappelli and Gavin Hudner, and Gavin is going to produce that song, and then Dylan's
Okay.
going to master it. Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, so wrote that song with them in August, and I'm really excited to be able to release that this coming summer.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
very exciting that it's all
You.
as it's how how are you feeling as it's like all slowly rolling out?
I'm really excited. I feel like when I released Lost and Found, I released it in October. I released it specifically on like the year anniversary after my grandma passed away. I felt like that was just like a really special like kind of commemoration for her.
Hmm.
Um But because that was like 4 or 5 months ago at this point, I think maybe that's why it has like it's been a little while since I've like released another album song, or just any song in general. And so, there was like a little bit of a lull in between from then and now.
Yeah.
But now since I've released Chasing the Rainbow, it's been getting so much like love from so many people, and I'm just like really grateful. Honestly, like I really have not expected like the reaction to it that it's gotten, and I'm like just really grateful that people are connecting to it. Um, it's it's just funny that like it's again something I wrote 6 years ago, and I
Yeah.
don't even think I had the same mentality about it that I do now, and so I'm just super glad that it's connecting with people because that is truly my goal in all of my music is just, creating things that help people get through whatever they're going through. So,
Yeah. Nice.
yeah.
And are there any like smaller artists that you'd like to highlight? I know you probably have a lot based on what you
So
said about your
many.
playlist.
Oh my God, literally so many. So many. Okay, I'll just pull up my top 200 playlist and just tell you some of my favorite smaller artists. Okay, Sophia
Nice.
James. She recently totally blew up because of the Group 7 thing on TikTok, if you're aware of that. But she's amazing. If you haven't heard her, she's absolutely incredible. Seaforth, one of my favorite country groups. Well, formerly group, now just single person. Uh, just running the group now, basically, but they're
Yeah.
amazing. Carter Faith is amazing. Tennille Arts, Lolo, Jillian Dawn, Blue Eyes and Ryan Nealon, Lou. She was formerly known as Lauren Weintraub, but she's going by Lou now. She's my friend. She's awesome.
Nice.
Um, so many artists. Michalia, like I'm like 80% of this playlist is like smaller kind of emerging artists who like I just think absolutely rock.
Yeah.
So, oh, Taylor Bickett, Isabel Dumas. There's so many. I could go on. I could go on and on forever, actually. But
I
I'll leave it at that
could,
for now.
I'll just include that playlist
Oh
and
my gosh!
in the thing so that people can find it
Oh my
easily.
God, thank you. I would love that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I'll definitely be looking at that since we have so much of our taste seems to be in common.
I know, it does seem very sim who would you say are your like favorite artists?
I mean, Taylor Swift definitely is. Conan Gray, Tate
Hmm.
McRae. I'm very like pop.
I love that. You have
Um,
the exact same favorites as my sister's girlfriend. Exact
nice.
same. I love that.
But yeah, I like all the pop stars, but
So,
obviously the smaller artists as well.
but I also love the pop stars too. I mean,
Yes.
I can see you like Sabrina as well.
Yes.
Also huge Sabrina fan. Been a fan of her since 2017 and very proud of it.
Nice. Um, that is all the questions that I have, but was there anything else that you wanted to share?
Um, no, I'm just really grateful you took the time to chat with me today. I'm like, your questions are super thoughtful, and I really appreciate just everything that you like asked and prepped for and like went through with me. I like really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be on your podcast. This has been so fun.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. I'm glad we got to talk and yeah, I didn't know much about you, so I'm glad I got to learn more about like you and the album and it sounds like it's gonna be like very different than just like what's out there right now, which I'm excited to hear.
Thank you. I really hope so. I really hope that it like fills a niche and like a gap that like doesn't have as much going on there and that like it can be that for like comfort for somebody. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Make sure you go ahead and stream Chasing the Rainbow and Why Do You Care? Also, new album coming very soon. Thank you so much, Sami Siteman, for joining the episode today. Make sure you tune in on the next episode of Little Pop Stars and become a little potty baddie.
Without all the rain, so I'll just look for the beauty